Hello everyone, welcome to my output presentation on task 7. The first activity under task 7 is download research related to issues in language arts such as issues on reading, writing, speaking, and listening. I choose the perceived challenges in reading of learners, basis for school reading programs. Another activity under task 7, copy the abstract. The following was the abstract for my chosen study. This mixed method research study was conducted by the authors, namely Mary Jane Thomas, Orleo Villorose, and Shena May Kalman. The study was conducted to investigate the English and Filipino reading profiles of learners, challenges, difficulties, and lessons, the school's agenda, and initiatives for the enrichment of reading programs to eliminate these reading challenges and difficulties, and the stakeholder support and commitment. A total of 4,056 Filipino reading profiles and 4,216 English reading profiles of grade 1 to 7 students and responses from the interviews done with the school heads and teachers were described using descriptive measures and analyzed using thematic analysis. Results show that the majority of the learners were at the frustration level. Also, the perceived causes, origin, and attendant variables of the students' reading level were non-mastery of the elements of reading, the presence of learners at risk, and no culture of reading. The suggested reading programs and activities may form part in the creation of contextualized reading curricula and be used as reading literacy initiatives in school. These initiatives are categorized as literacy programs, individual reading recovery programs, enrichment and enhancement programs. Let's come now to another activity under task 7. Identify the valid reason why he or she is interested in conducting the study. The main purpose why the authors interested in conducting the study was to improve the reading abilities of pupils in order to improve their academic performance. Another task was to look at the respondents. Respondents of the study were all grades 1 to 7 learners in the school's division of Aurora. 20 supervisors were assigned to 10 schools districts to conduct and evaluate oral reading skills among sample learners of all schools. The sample learners were selected randomly with 5 per class to each language, English and Filipino. The study employed a mixed method of research. The quantitative method was used to determine the reading level of the students. The qualitative data was used to assess the perceived challenges of the students in learning. A total of 4,056 Filipino reading profiles and 4,216 English reading profiles of grade 1 to grade 7 students and responses from the interviews done with the school heads and teachers were described using descriptive measures and analyzed using thematic analysis. As to the result of the study, Activity 5 under Task 7, try to find out the result, conclusion, and recommendation. As to the result for Filipino language, out of 4,056 respondents from grades 1 to 7 learners of 10 schools district of the schools division of Aurora, 31.14 were at independent levels, 21.15 were at instructional levels, 42.27 were at frustration levels, and 4.42% were non-readers. As of the result for English, out of 4,216 learners tested from grades 1 to 7, 9.01% were at independent levels, 10.93% were at instructional levels, 73.24% were at frustration levels, and 6.81% were non-readers. As to the perceived causes, Number 1, non-mastery of the elements of reading. Under non-mastery of the elements of reading, under that, A, no phonological awareness was observed. The grade 1 learners in Filipino experienced difficulties with sound blending. They do not know the strategy that will be able to read a word by putting up phonemes together. Another, non-mastery of the alphabet knowledge. Also, as per observations, there was a clear confusion among grade 1 learners between the letter name and letter sound. The learners' difficulty to distinguish letters from one another was very evident. They added vowels to every consonant letters. Another, non-mastery of phoneme. Phonics. Reversals like for A in Filipino, insertions pinirito to print, deletions, says, addition of letters, nanay to nanaya, were some of the common errors in a formal reading analysis or running records done. Another, poor word recognition. Most of the tested grade 1 learners have a very limited bank of sight words as shown in their basic sight word test result in English. Most of them can only read CVC words. Another, poor fluency skills. Learners who find difficulty in learning the skill in decoding words tend to refuse to read. No continuous opportunities were provided by the teachers in the content that the learners are more comfortable. Children learn to read more easily when this instruction is based on the strengths and resources they already possess. Another, lack of comprehension. It is very evident from the results that few learners got perfect scores in reading comprehension in Filipino. Though the reading materials were written in their mother tongue, still they can hardly answer the questions. There were grades 1 and 2 learners who can read fluently in Filipino but without comprehension. This can be attributed to the focus of the teachers in reading instruction, which is decoding. Learners have very limited vocabulary as well. Another perceived causes of poor reading skills was the presence of learners at risk. The causes of the presence of learners at risk are the presence of non-readers, learners, poor health conditions, lack of interest in reading, and lack of orientation and training to teach reading, and frequent absenteeism of learners. The last perceived causes is no culture of reading. Under no culture of reading, the perceived causes are no opportunity for independent reading, lack of reading materials, failure to give learners sufficient guidance for reading, absence of parents, teachers, and learners' reading partnership, lack of teachers' commitment and confidence to teach reading, improper implementation of the reading program, and no monitoring of learners' progress during the intervention. Let's come now to the conclusion and recommendation. The majority of the learners were at the frustration level. Hence, a need for improvement of reading level must be considered in devising development plans for the learners. Also, the perceived causes, origins, and attendant variables of the students' reading level were non-master of the elements of reading, presence of learners at risk, and no culture of reading. The suggested reading programs and activities may form part of the creation of contextualized reading curricula and be used as reading literacy initiatives in schools.